No, because literally, who let me read so many books in February? Hey besties, welcome back to my channel. My name is Corinne. And today we're going to be talking about all the books I read in February. And I'm going to be completely honest, I was not expecting it to go this well. I am a numbers girly, so I really like to look at the numbers, the statistics of everything. So I broke it down. So let's get into that before we talk about the books. So I read a total of 14 books in February, which totaled to 6,107 pages, and that averaged out to 436 pages per book. By genre, I read 6 romance books, 4 fantasy books, and 4 mystery thriller books. So let's get into what books I read and let's talk about what I thought about them. Okay, so I do have my Goodreads up right here so I can glance at my ratings and what I thought about them in the moment, and then I'll talk about them kind of how I feel now. So the first book I read in February was Hunting Adeline. This is the second book in the Cat and Mouse duet by H.D. Carlton. And I'm going to be completely honest. I kind of had no thoughts. Was I happy at some points? Did I smile and giggle a little bit at some points? Sure. But I didn't necessarily care too much about what was going on or who the characters were. And I wasn't too sad to finish this duet. I think I literally rated this 3 stars. It was just so mid for me. I don't really have a better way to describe it. So 3 stars. Pretty mediocre for me, in my opinion. Now let's talk about this one, because this one has been getting some very mixed thoughts and opinions across the internet. And when I first finished it, I did rate it 5 stars because I love this series so much. I love Sarah J. Maas, I love her writing, I love her worlds, and I really do love Crescent City. I know this series is typically her least liked series, which is valid. Like, it is my least favorite of all of hers, but I think I enjoy it a lot more than a lot of others do. I don't know, there's just something about the modern fantasy that I really enjoy. This is where I was getting a little confused, because the series as a whole is a 5-star series. I love the series very much. But this book, can we just talk about Bryce for a second? Because why is she the way that she is? And if you know, you know. I'm sorry, I'm not going to go too in depth because it is the 3rd book in a series. But why? Those are all my thoughts. Those are all my words for this book. I rated it 5 stars in the moment. I think I'm going to lower it to like a 4.5 though. Just because, frankly, I haven't thought about it that much. I've thought about the first 2 way more than I have thought about this one. I'm excited for what this series is going to bring. But this specific book, I just don't think quite did it for me. And then I picked up Deadly Little Scandals by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. And all of these first 3 were part of finishing the series I'm in the middle of, video that I uploaded a few weeks ago, towards the beginning of February. Let's see what I even said about this one on my Goodreads. I said 3.5 stars. I enjoyed this one more than the first one, but still will probably never think about them again. And I think that is the most accurate thing I could say about this. I did enjoy this more than the first one. It was not as difficult to get through. The first one was difficult for me to get through. I don't know why, but it was. It was 0.5 higher than Little White Lies, but have I thought about this once since I actually read it? No. Then I read Dance of Thieves by Mary E. Pearson, and this was me and my sister and sister-in-law. We have a little mini book club. This was our book club pick for the month, this and Vow of Thieves. So when my sister-in-law read Dance of Thieves and Vow of Thieves, she fell in love with it, and she's a diehard fantasy girly. And I'm a fantasy girly, but not as hardcore as she is, okay? Just had to preface with that. So she was like crying, screaming, throwing up when she was reading this series, and so I was like, okay, dang, I need to pick it up ASAP. So I did, and I really liked it, but I didn't like it as much as she did. But I gave this 4 stars. I haven't really thought about it. So after I finished Dance of Thieves, I went straight into Vow of Thieves, and then kind of went into a little bit of a slump, and I don't like being in a slump. So my go-to author when I'm feeling kind of reading slumpy is Freida McFadden. I love Freida McFadden. So this is The Teacher. This is about a student and 2 teachers who all have some secrets. Very fast-paced, very easy to read. After I finished The Teacher, I immediately did not feel like I was in a reading slump anymore. So I did end up finishing Vow of Thieves. I think I had gotten to page like 170, like almost like halfway through before I put it down. So then I really just sat and finished it in one sitting. And I rated this one 4 stars as well. I enjoyed the plot of the first one a little bit more, but I enjoyed now knowing the world going into this one. So they were about the same for me. Seriously, this pile is getting out of hand. Who let me read this many books in February? I was really on a mystery thriller kick this month. I just was eating every single one of them up. Because after I finished Vow of Thieves, I picked up First Light Wins by Ashley Elston. I have seen this book everywhere. I've been seeing it on the internet, I've been seeing it in Barnes, I've been seeing it in Target. Everywhere I've gone, this book just kept popping up. And it's Reese's Book Club. I love Reese's Book Club picks. Every single book I've read from Reese's Book Club has been a hit for me. It's about this girl named Evie Porter who basically doesn't exist. She has different identities for different jobs that she has to work, and Evie Porter is her current identity for her current job, and you're basically just going through this job with her, trying to figure out what the job is, why it's important, and yeah, it's pretty simple. It's a pretty simple concept, but it was so good. It was super psychologically thrilling, which are my absolute favorite mystery thrillers, where they're like, they get you in your mind. So anyway, I gave this one 4 stars. Again, haven't really thought about it much, but still really enjoyed it. Moving on. This is Bride by Ali Hazelwood. I have seen so many people give this book 5 stars and rave about it. I was not obsessed with this book. Even the romance of it, I really didn't care about the characters at all. I really did not care about what was happening or why they were doing what they were doing. And then I got to the last 100 pages, and I have a bone to pick with the word not. That should not ever be used again. Seriously, I love Ali Hazelwood. I love her books, love her writing. I love her women in STEM books. Those are my absolute favorite. I don't care if they're repetitive. I don't care that they're the same storyline over and over again. I eat it up every time. I did give it 3 stars because there were a few points in the book where I was like, oh, that was kind of cute. I think there were maybe 2 that happened though, but still, it did happen occasionally. I think it's safe to say I will not ever be reading the Omegaverse. And then I got to read another fantasy. I read The Cruel Prince by Holly Black, and I loved it so much. Rated this 4 stars, but I really can't wait for the trilogy. It was a little bit slower in the beginning, but once I was in it, and I did not want to stop. I think I literally read this in 2 sittings. The little inklings of romance you get are so much better than when it's like a pure romance book. I don't know what it is. Can someone explain the science to me? Because I don't get it. But romance in this is just far superior to a romance in this. I said what I said. And then I just went on a little romance kick. I read Powerless by Elsie Silver and Reckless by Elsie Silver. This is the 3rd and the 4th book in the Chestnut Spring series. But this one is about Jasper and Sloane. Yeah, so Jasper's a hockey player and Sloane is a ballerina. Oh, my heart. They're so cute. So cute. Anyway, not much to say about this. I don't even remember the tropes in it, but the vibes, The vibes were great. I rated this one 4 stars because I picked it up, read 200 pages, and then I put it down and did not pick it up for months. But when I picked it back up and read the last 300 pages, I ate it up. That plate was clean when I was done with this. So that's Powerless. And then here's Reckless by Elsie Silver. This is the 4th book in the Chestnut Springs series. And then I was just really on that cowboy romance kick again. So I read Reckless in a day, and I was really nervous about this one because it is a accidental pregnancy trope. Don't look at me for liking this, but I loved it. Listen, the tiny cowboy boot, I'm sobbing. It's so cute. So Reckless is about Theo and Winter, who Winter gets knocked up. They have like a one night stand, whatever, and he abandons her. But there's also like a little miscommunication, okay? It ends up being really cutie. I just recommend this series so much. I love the girls in this series. I love their relationships. I love their friendships. And the boys, come on. Boys being boys is honestly so much fun to read about. Cutie, actually, surprisingly, even though it was pregnancy, that was kind of scary for me. I rated it 4.5 stars. Not a perfect 5. But I don't think, at this point in my reading journey, if that's what you want to call it, I don't think I could ever rate a pure romance a perfect 5 stars anymore. Fantasy with romance is superior. Top tier. Cannot be topped, okay? Anyway, moving on. Remember how I said I can't rate a romance, like a regular romance, 5 stars anymore? I take that back. This is technically a romance, I guess. This book is Daisy Hates by Jessa Hastings. This is the 2nd book in the Magnolia Parks universe, but it's the first Daisy Hates book. So if you don't know how the series goes, basically you read Magnolia Parks and then Daisy Hates, and they happen at the same time. And then you read Magnolia Parks 2 and Daisy Hates 2 after that, and those 2 happen at the same time. This is the first Daisy Hates book, and it's about Daisy and Christian. You also get a 3rd POV, but these books are beautiful. Jessa is everything. She is everything. And these characters she writes about, the words that she puts on a piece of paper, I don't know how they just pull out these emotions that I didn't even know I had. 10 out of 10 recommend though. Then I read Magnolia Parks The Long Way Home, which is the 2nd Magnolia book and the 3rd book in the universe. This is the 2nd Magnolia book. It follows the first Daisy Hates book from Magnolia and BJ's perspectives. I think it's like a year later after everything happens at the end of the first Magnolia book. And this one, Magnolia has my heart. The whole series, the whole Magnolia Parks universe is one of the easiest 5 stars I've ever given. It is literal perfection in my eyes. There's not much that can really top it. So I was feeling kind of funky, kind of not really wanting to do anything, not very motivated, not really wanting to pick up books, not really wanting to work on school or work or do whatever I needed to do. So I figured it would be smart to not pick up Daisy Hates 2 because I knew that would just put me into more emotional turmoil. So I did what anybody would do in my situation, especially knowing that Freida McFadden is my slump author when I'm feeling like this, and I picked up The Locked Door. The Locked Door is about Nora, who is a doctor, but when she was a kid, her dad was an active serial killer, and now in her adult life, as a doctor, some of her female patients have been turning up dead in very suspiciously similar ways to how her dad killed his victims. I rated this 4 stars because I just kind of collectively think all of Freida McFadden's books are about a 4-star for me. It was also really short. I read this in literally, I think, 3 hours. Okay, so I just calculated it because I was curious. And my average rating for all of February was 3.96. Anyway, so that is really all I have today. We read a lot of books, and I'm very excited for what the month of March holds. Love you guys. Thank you for clicking on today's video. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment. Let me know what else you want to see, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!